first show at Plymouth State was The Drowsy Chaperone in 2012.
Gotcha. Tell me about that.
That was a really great experience because I actually was able to work alongside a professor as a fellow actor. The current chair of theater and the chair of the music theater dance department, Paul Moroska, played the man in chair. So we not only were exposed to the first round of theater at this university, we were also working alongside a professor who had a role in the show. So that was very interesting to me to get to see a professor who would go on to be a mentor for me at this university, kind of in his creative process, actually doing the work that they had been teaching us. So I think that was probably the most interesting part about The Drowsy Chaperone. This was the first principal role that I was able to perform at Plymouth State. And that was such an amazing experience for me because everybody knows Les Mis, they know the story, they know the music. And anytime I think you perform Les Mis, you kind of get a piece of that, a piece of the entity that is that show. So it was such a great experience for me because I finally got to grab something by the horns. I was cast in the show in the spring, and then we put on the show in the fall. So I kind of got all summer to really let that whole experience kind of seep in, and then I was able to perform the role in the fall, and it was just incredible. I mean, the direction by Sharon Paquette was unbelievable. We got to do Anne Bogart's Viewpoints, and musical direction by Kathleen Arecki, I think, was astounding just because she's such a professional, and she handles the show in such a professional yet loving way because she truly loves what she does because she's done it her whole life. So that was a really great experience.
Go to Avenue Q for me.
Avenue Q is just wild. That's really the only way that I can describe it. It's so sensationally hilarious, and it's such a specific style of modern comedy, which I think was really refreshing because we had only done kind of older shows or shows that were in an older style up until then, at my time here, so it was really entertaining to get to do something that was so current and so relevant. Not that any other show wasn't, but just that it's so, Avenue Q's right now, it's happening, it's, it's so hot in terms of its relevance. And getting to play a role like Nicky was very interesting because I was able to find a lot of somebody who at first I didn't think was a lot like me, and then you've come to find out, during the rehearsal process that this green two-handed puppet is actually very close to you and very similar to you. And I also thought it was very interesting to collaborate with another actor on one role. This two-handed puppet, even though he's voiced by me and his mouth and his hands are operated by me, there's another person that I'm physically attached to because we're both operating this green piece of fabric and manipulating that fabric to become a life form. So that was just very kooky. The Threepenny Opera is definitely a classic piece of theater. It's very different, and I think that Brecht is just it's hard to even put his work in words because it's so social, and it's so, again, Sharon, who directed Les Mis, also directed Threepenny Opera, so the amazing things that she's able to do is take a piece of theater that wasn't necessarily written a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and bring it into a light that shows us why we still need to perform it because of its modern relevance. So a guy like J.J. Peacham could be like any guy on Wall Street now. So I think that doing a show like the Threepenny Opera really shows you that theater can change things. I'd say that Spring Awakening was the show that I auditioned for here that I knew the best before I auditioned for it. So going in, I was so excited and so excited because it was so relevant in terms of the theater community that I had been exposed to. I had known the show since I was in high school, and then actually being able to do it and getting to know such a small unit of people. That was the smallest cast I'd been in here, I think at 13 people. That was the smallest group of people that I performed with. And the work that we were able to do with Morgan Murphy was incredible because his artistic process is so different from other professors here because he comes from a film and media background that the show was so intimate and so personal and so stripped down and so raw that we really got to the core of what the story is about. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum was the most incredible experience to leave as a stamp on this university. To get to play a role like Pseudolus at the age of 21 is really exciting to me, and I think what's most exciting is that this is a role that I'm going to be able to hopefully play for another 20 years, another 30 years, and getting to work with Fran Page again, and Emily Jaworski and Lisa Travis, and with some of my closest friends in this department to put on such a wacky, colorful, fun, bright piece of work was so fulfilling, and that's all I really want to do in my life. Other than storytell, I just want to make people laugh because why would we want to spend our time doing anything else except having a good time?